What movement? Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. All right. Another beautiful day in the Steel City here, right? Plenty of opportunities to spread peace, love, respect. Even got a little sunshine today. So, yeah, it was beautiful. I hope everyone had a wonderful day. Thank you all for chiming in once again. I love you all and I appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to get into this one and try and keep it as succinct as possible. Very important subject. One I wish I didn't have to cover, right? But again, I take that back, right? Remember, willingness in this process is key. We have to, in fact, be willing to look in the dark spaces and the dark corners we wanted to ignore, open up some of the closets we kept closed for years, right? And even look at some of the new things that we've moved to accept in our lives that maybe we shouldn't have, right? Which is probably the category that this best fits into. So, we've seen a lot of trends, right, over the past few years. Maybe not even necessarily the past few years, but a lot of things become very, very popular that unfortunately are not high vibrational things, very low vibrational things, right? Particularly in the arena of our sex lives, right? And you know, King Sadiq gonna keep it real with you. We've had folks, I even had a video I touched on where this popularity of eating the groceries, right? And y'all know what I'm talking about with that, with the anal play involved in that. But anal sex, right? Anal penetration, I'm gonna touch on a little bit and talk to you about 3 specific reasons why you're looking at something that's a very low vibrational practice, will draw you into your lower self, right? Rather than you being in your higher self, which is what certainly we all are aspiring for. All right, so first of all, we need to keep in mind that when we talk about what's natural, right, particularly with the human body, we need to look at how it's designed, right? You know, as with anything, it's designed for the way it is meant to function, right? Okay, so the human anus is a orifice that is controlled by muscles, right? That is specifically designed as something that is meant as an exit for waste, right? It is not designed to receive, right? The actual design of it, which is why there is pain whenever that is done, right? So there's an element of common sense there, right? In terms of what's natural and what's not. Also, we need to take a look at the fact that that area of your body, right? That lower region near the tailbone gets you down close to where your root chakra is located, right? So the second reason is that we have talked before about how there are what is termed as energy vampires. We talked about that in terms of characteristics in people, right? And on the spiritual level, we talked about low vibrational frequency entities that feed off of a specific form of energy, low vibrational frequency energy that is produced when the human biosphere is in a low vibrational frequency state, right? And one of the lowest forms of that energy is what's referred to as louche energy, right? And is also along the lines of the same energy that's being quote unquote fed off of in many of the practices that are coming out in the dark arts that unfortunately a lot of folks have gotten themselves into, like this adrenochrome industry, right? For those of you that know about that and what that's all about. But yeah, that's another thing. So the first thing was the fact that, you know, you're going against the natural design of the body, right? To attempt to incorporate or have some form of sexual pleasure that at that point is deviant, right? You're going against the natural design of your body. You're deviating away from nature, right? I mean, it's pretty much all in the definition right there. And then the second thing, again, is that unfortunately, during those activities, right, you are producing that louche energy, right? And there are nefarious, dark entities and energies that feed off of that. And they trick you into that. Part of the reason why anal has become so powerful and popular in what they refer to as the porn industry. It is to trick you and lure you into all that, right? So, my advice, if you are looking to maintain a high vibrational frequency in your sex life, and you certainly, listen, sex is not only healthy, but it's natural, right? As long as you don't bring deviant intent into it. And unfortunately, when you get into anal play, particularly anal penetration, but any form of anal play, you are bringing deviant usage of the human body in a way that it's not designed to be, right? Which brings me to the third reason, which is that there is a very specific form of that low vibrational frequency energy that is produced during violent anal penetration, right? Which is the Vito Vago energy. And this is part of what the sick individuals who rape babies, right? And have, I don't even want to form the word in my mouth to say it, but have anal intercourse with you know, children and young folks or anyone that they may have in their deviant sexual, you know, practices, trafficking, etc., right? They're into generating that energy. And that Vito Vago energy that is derived from that form of intense pain, that unnatural pain, is what goes to, it actually shoots up your spine, up your spinal column, right? And sort of provides an energetic blockage for your pineal, right? Amongst other things that are that it's used for in the dark arts that I'm not even going to take time getting all into that. But know that, as alluring as it may be to some of you, you know, as tempting as it may be to some of you, and you may have even had some experiences that, you know, you find yourself longing to return to, you need to know that it's a slippery slope down a dark road, right? And you got to watch yourself with that, is my advice. I don't tell anyone what to do or what not to do. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to help. And part of helping is informing. That's why I'm making an objective video that is telling you the truth, right? About what these things are used for and what is part of the result, or what's the outcome of these practices, right? Of these sexual practices, and the energy and the different forms of energy and the purposes for that energy being produced in these practices, right? Folks, it's very important in these day and ages that we protect ourselves on an energetic level, right? You want to keep yourself in a very high vibrational frequency state, as high as possible. And I'm just cautioning, right? Informing and cautioning that those practices can lead you down a slippery slope that is in fact very low vibrational, right? And very dark in nature. So be careful. Is what I'll leave you with on that. And also, again, as I stated, there are those who don't have your best interest at heart, who want you to engage in those things. So just put two and two together there, right? If I know that dark, nefarious, quote unquote evil individuals are into utilizing, manipulating, producing, creating, feeding off of these forms of energy from this type of sexual activity, then maybe it's not the best idea. And well, that's if you're looking to maintain a high vibrational frequency. If you want to be into your higher self rather than your lower self, then I would caution you against that, right? Again, no judgment. We're adults. We're all sentient beings, right? I'm no more responsible for you than you are for me. But I am responsible for bringing you information and equipping you to be able to make an informed decision for yourself, right? So that's where I'm at on that, because, you know, quite frankly, and particularly, I've noticed an increase in the black community, right? I'm 47. I know when I was a teenager, anal play wasn't something that hadn't happened yet. Pardon me. Wasn't that it was something that was, like, you know, unheard of, but it wasn't popular, right? And unfortunately now it seems to be. From my perspective, unfortunately now it seems to be, right? Maybe that's not unfortunate for some. Maybe some don't even see an increase. I'm just providing information that I think would be helpful and cautionary, right? For those who want to maintain a high vibrational frequency. All right? And this is sort of a subsection of the general concept that, you know, the reality is, folks, there are some very, very dark, nefarious, negative, low vibrational, ill intent individuals in this world, right? That's facts. I don't think I even have to work hard to convince many of us of that, right? And we need to realize that they deploy things, right, into this world because unfortunately many of these individuals have a lot of money and power, right? That's the probably the saddest fact is that many of the most powerful and influential people in the world are of this low vibrational frequency category, right? And because of that, they have the means to deploy these things and affect our everyday lives, right? So, you know, if it's part of their agenda to see an increase in anal sexual activity, right, as a cultural shift, then they deploy everything within their means to do that, right? And remember, they touch every aspect of your lives from the moment you wake up with your device in your hand, right? I mean, how many people even get woke up by your device in the middle of the night? Think of that. You can't even get a sound night's sleep without getting some alert that causes you to get up in the middle of the night often, even if it's just to check, right? So the point is that the reach of their influence into our everyday lives is deep, right? And we see this and I recognize it, and I'm pointing it out to you as one of the nefarious attempts at getting you lulled into a lifestyle, if you want to call it that, or a sexual practice or tendency that is very low vibrational in nature, right? It is unnatural, in fact, and those were a few reasons why. So I hope that was helpful. Not everybody will agree with that. That's fine. Again, a big part of what we have to, I feel like we need to do going forward is being able to disagree about things, right? Without being disagreeable in our behavior, right? We can disagree without a subject and still maintain a platform of peace, right? Of open dialogue, of enough respect to hear each other out, to think about what each other has stated, and then formulate our own opinion and be comfortable and open enough to share that. All right? All right. So a little bit of a awkward, difficult topic we got covered there. Thank you again for chiming in, and I hope it helps. Thank you all. I love you all, true indeed. And you know what I was just anxious to get ready to say? Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. I'm out.